welcome to today's live. I'm the Urban Seer, your guide to love, destiny and manifesting the life you desire. I hope everyone's doing well this Wednesday, and if you're not, I hope this session brings you the insight, peace and clarity that you need. If you would like a free reading, just click the link in the pinned comment to be added to the list. A reminder of how I read, so I'm an energy reader tuning into you and your situation to bring clarity. I don't do yes/no questions, timelines or general readings, so please do share as much detail and context as you can so that I can read for you, so I can connect with you and your energy. And please do hold your question until your name is called. Whilst you're here, just check the chat for all the guidelines are in the Nightbot messages, or the info is there. Please do allow me to read without interruption and keep comments on other people's readings supportive. And also I post the reading list regularly, so if you want to know your spot, just check the chat for the list, and like I say, I'll update it regularly throughout this session. How's everyone doing? Hi Anne, how are you? Hey Kitty Cat, hey Alvin. Let me go and head over and get the list and we'll get started. Tia B, my love, I can see that you are first on the list. If you want to go ahead and update, I'm not sure if Tia B is here. Oh, hey Tia. Nice to see you. I hope you're well. There's the list, guys. It's a bit prettier than normal, and hopefully easier for you guys to read. And I'm using the Modern Witch Tarot deck today, which is a really straight to the point deck. Very direct. Woo. Cards are everywhere. So Tia asks, Pisces pulled back. He communicated that, wondering if it will stay this way. Was it just for the day? How does he feel? So he communicated that he's pulling back to you, Tia, is that right? This is out of the blue to me. Let's have a look what's going on. Interesting. Three of Swords. Heartache, heartbreak, wounds, a broken heart. Has he been broken hearted in the past here? Fear of getting hurt, old fears coming back about, you know, that reminding them of a time when they did get that heart broken, knife through the heart. We had some communication differences, yeah, I remember. I thought we were okay because we talked about them. Tell me more, Spirit. We thought the communication, we thought their problems were resolved. Tell me more. So I feel like there's a conflict here with the head over the heart. Okay, Tia. He wants to be the King of Swords, okay, which is someone who is analytical, who is in control, who can make tough decisions, who is ruled by their head, not their heart. But emotionally, for him, like inside, what's happening with you, Tia, is that it's moving fast, and I feel like that he's falling for you. And this has triggered this Three of Swords, some unhealed wounds, I would say. Not between you two, but from the past, yeah? And it's going fast inside of him emotionally. And he's done this to try to gain some control over the situation, because he thought that a combination of how he was feeling, has kind of freaked him out, has unsettled him. Now, you should be able to have disagreements, okay? And that's always going to happen in relationships, yeah? In deep relationships. It's inevitable. And we have to be able to get over that. So the fact that if this has thrown him off, is something that he needs to work on, okay? Something that he needs to work through. I think he sees you as someone who is very independent, which is a good thing. Someone who wants to be with him but doesn't have to be with him. So you are very much your own person, independent, and have your own life, okay? So this is what he loves you for, but also, you know, if he has insecurities, it can flip on its head that, and when he's maybe in a dark moment, thinks that you don't need him, that you can live without him, all that kind of stuff. But really, again, this is like his problem, really. That's not your problem. You know, like he has to manage those insecurities, worries, fears. Tia says, right, he mentioned that about disagreements and then turned around and said he needs space. So this makes sense. Yeah, so it's just a continuation of him having a kind of overreaction to, you know, having unrealistic expectations in some ways about like needing, and an overreaction to having maybe quite a small disagreement. So this is how he's reacted. He's trying to gain some control of the situation. I'm going to pull one more just to say, will this continue, this King of Swords energy? Or is he going to get over himself and be able to manage his fears, his anxieties? Maybe in his heart of hearts as well, too, I'm kind of feeling like, you know, he's maybe not letting on to you, but like he wants things to maybe move fast. Emotionally, really, and his emotions are going quite fast with you, like he's getting some quite big feelings. Again, this is maybe tied into him flipping into this King of Swords and trying to gain some control. Last question, is this King of Swords energy going to continue, Spirit, or are we going to see a shift? Oh, you have to match his energy, so don't react to it. The King and the Queen here. So this isn't a continuation of what you have to do, Tia, is hold your nerve. So just be strategic, be logical. This will pass. Just let him do his thing. Let him have his little freak out. Let him feel that he's getting back in control by doing this. And just stay cool as a cucumber. Cool, calm, collected, yeah? So, okay, if that's what you want to do, I understand that. No problem. You do you. You know, come back, let me know when, you know, this is between, obviously you don't say these words, but when you're ready to meet me as an adult and in a mature place. This is a knee-jerk reaction. So match his energy. Say, okay, you want to take some time out, pull back. You do you. And see what happens, yeah? Well done, Tia. So yes, that was my exact response. Okay, I understand. I'll take space. Yeah. And he'll be back, Tia Beer. He just needs to have his little moment. But some unhealed wounds coming up here. Keep us posted. Keep us posted, Tia. Thank you, Anne. So Anne says, or here Tia says, the problem is I'm not sure I want to go through the merry-go-round. Yes, well, that is true, Tia. That is a very valid question. If this is unhealed wounds have reared their ugly head, do we want to do this again? I totally agree. See what he comes back with, Tia. That's all that you can do, yeah? So you match his energy with that Queen of Swords. See what he comes up with. See if it's anything good. See if it's anything valid. If it's not enough, then maybe it's time to reassess. Keep us posted. Okay, Anne, my love. So, Anne asks, what deeper lesson or opportunity is my current job dissatisfaction pointing me towards? And how can I best move forward into a more fulfilling career path? Great question. Okay, so Spirit, for Anne, what deeper lesson or opportunity is my current job's dissatisfaction pointing me towards? Okay, let's get a comment on the current job dissatisfaction. What's the deeper lesson? Death, Major Arcana, Anne. So, and Justice, 2 Major Arcanas. Wow. So the Death card, as we know, is about transformation. And what came through for me, Anne, was that I feel like you've had some big changes, some deep changes. And what this has maybe done is that you've like outgrown your job and outgrown your position. Because it's interesting when we change in other parts of our life or do spiritual work or do inner work, it's moving us to, we begin to shed skin. So like how a snake sheds an old skin, that the transformation tends to bleed into every area of our life, yeah? And this feeling of dissatisfaction because we are growing and expanding. So I feel like that's the deeper lesson of where this job dissatisfaction is coming from, Anne. Let me know if this is resonating for you, okay? And so just that being that you've done some inner work, you've been through a lot, you've transformed. And this has also bled into the workspace. And you were too big. So let me know if this resonates. You are too big for this space now in your career, in your current job. You've outgrown it. How can I best move forward into a more fulfilling career path? Justice. So justice for you, asking, going for more. So I suppose the question as well as like how a fulfilling career path. What does this mean? Does it mean a complete change of career path that is needed? I mean, justice can be about, this is a very specific message, okay, in the sense that justice can be about legal stuff. So legal, justice, integrity, this is all what this justice card represents. So it could be that you need to go a career path. It can be quite literal in that way, that maybe you can sidestep into that kind of career, like maybe finding justice for others. Some kind of, you know, it could manifest in working for a charity. It could manifest in some form bringing justice for others. So I do feel like that's an aspect. Obviously, I don't know what work you do now, and would that mean a complete overhaul in your career? Is it something that you can sidestep into it? But it's something about your sense of justice and your integrity. And I suppose justice is about needing your work to be more meaningful, needing your work to provide value for others, I feel like. And you're not someone who can just do a job for a paycheck. Like, there's literally nothing wrong with that. About, you know, it's often frowned upon about, we're always told to be more ambitious and we've always got to be, you know, looking for the next promotion. There's actually nothing wrong if you're that kind of person who wants to just go to work, do what's needed, get the paycheck and leave and just enjoy the rest of your life. But for you, Anne, I feel like that your work is very tied in with your integrity and bringing meaning to your life. And that's the direction that we need to go in. So Anne says, yes, like if switching job needed, then I would opt for that. So I feel like that's the direction what Spirit is pulling you in, and that this is, you know, it's kind of a blessing and a curse, isn't it, to keep growing, because we keep outgrowing our situation, and the Spirit keeps asking, keeps raising the bar. So start imagining what that would look like to you, Anne. What kind of job that would have more meaning and would align with your integrity of who you are and your beliefs and value system, and start to look into that direction and what that means in the 3D. So I hope that helped. So now we have, that was Anne Franklin, and now we have Anne. If you were here, my love. Thank you, Anne. You're welcome, Anne Franklin, and thank you, Anne. It's funny how you're always side by side. You too. Okay. Hi, Isha. Just watched the chat for all the guidelines and list updates. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the channel. So Anne asks, will my crush in this reflective hermit phase, how might his thoughts and feelings towards me shift after Saturday's meeting? Okay, let's take a look. So how will Anne's crush feel, thoughts and feelings towards me shift after Saturday's meeting? What will that bring? Seven of Cups. So, Seven of Cups is all about choices and options. And so what comes through is that I feel like after Saturday, that your person will understand that. I feel like it's kind of up to them to make a move. Yeah. Seven of Cups is about that they have options and choices, and this is like the re-emergence after the hermit phase, Anne. Okay, so they've took some time out, they've gone inward, they've reflected inwards, okay, and then it's like them heading back out into the world. And cups are about love, romance, you know, our feelings, our heartfelt matters of the heart. So I think will emerge from this, and I think they'll understand that, like, if they want things to move forward with you or to change, you know, for you to connect, then they are going to have to make a choice and kind of commit to one cup, if that makes sense, one direction. Like, it's almost like it's moving towards like a fork in the road, a kind of crossroads moment where they have to make a decision, because Seven of Cups can be quite an indecisive energy, and it's time to, in a way, it's time to get real and start making decisions, making choices and moving forward. So there's some kind of shift happening there with them. And I think that this period, like I said, was beneficial of this hermit period, because it's kind of focused their mind and made them move them more towards getting real about this situation and basically like needing to make a move at some point. So I hope that resonated. Okay, next we have Eco 7, my love. If you can post your question. Thank you, Eco. I'll just do this list update. So Eco asks, may I please ask about my husband's future career perspective? He has left corporate world early April 25, trying to search what's next ever since. Okay, interesting, Eco 7. Okay, so Spirit, this is for Eco 7. Please comment on guidance, advice, career perspective for Eco 7's husband after leaving the corporate space. Big move, hey? Big move to, and a scary period for everyone involved. Having done this myself, from a very corporate world and making a change, it's tricky to navigate, scary, particularly when, you know, you've got responsibilities. Spirit, please comment. Major Arcana, so confirming what we already know, which is a big deal. So Judgment is a card of karma, And basically it's, I'm going to pull another card for more info on this, but Judgment card is like decisions from our past. Like if we have done the groundwork, then this will pay off. Like if we've kind of done what we needed to do, then we will in many ways will be rewarded for that, okay? But if we kind of drop the ball, if we've tried to cut corners, that kind of energy, that in turn also will come back to bite us. So it's reaping the benefits of the seeds that have been sown. Let me know if this resonates so far. And I feel almost this is, so there you go, yeah, that you're a big family. This is almost like the family members here that are dependent. So first question, was this done with your blessing? Is this something that you feel was a mistake given the situation, or do you back this? I'm just wondering if there's conflict there, because this feels like his energy, and it's like this is your responsibility, so we do need to bear that in mind, and they do need to continue to step up. Tell me more about what's coming, Spirit. I suppose what I'm trying to say is, was this decision, did it have your blessing? Or have they gone against that? Another major arcana. Things will improve. Okay, so look at this. The wings are mirrored here. So this is their wings. So moving from a judgment energy to a temperance energy temperance is more harmonious. Okay, so after, because it can be rocky, yeah, it can be like there is practical issues. The money has to keep coming in. If we've got a big family or a small family or just your own, you know, money has to keep coming in from somewhere. But temperance is the promise that things will level out, Eco 7. Things will begin to balance out. It does require patience, and it does require holding on to your inner calm. And holding on to your water. So try not to panic. Maybe this goes for both of you, okay? But the path ahead will become, I feel like what you're seeking as well, maybe what your husband is seeking as well from leaving the corporate space, is more peace, is more harmony, is in many ways like a slower pace, okay? To be less, you know, like burnout is so common in the corporate. It's never enough for the corporate machine, what humans, you know, what employees humans give. So you are supportive of him, which is good, that there's not conflict there. So yeah, it is rocky, it is tricky. If you've put in the groundwork though, if he's done what's needed to be done, of whatever the plan is, whatever the next steps are, which I'm sure he will have a plan in place, then it will pay off. It is the promise that this will pay off. And then we move into a more harmonious energy. So here we go, just the 8 of Swords. This is what we need to do in the meantime as this process is underway, is just try to manage our anxiety. Because it is an anxious time, but we just need to, has the potential to be great. It's a big shift. It's scary for everyone involved. But the 8 of Swords is managing our anxieties, managing our fears, our worries, our sort of worst case scenario events as best that you can. And trust the process, that if he's put in the hard work and set in motion the plan B after the corporate, then this will pay off. And we move into this more peaceful, harmonious energy. Will take patience, will take some time, which is just the reality of kind of the 3D world of things coming to fruition. So ultimately reassuring here, Eco 7, it will come good. It will come good. I'm glad that resonated. Okay, Anshuman, my dear, if you want to post your question. I think I'll just have to close the list if you just bear with me. You're very welcome, Eco7. Thank you for being here and being open to receive. Okay. So Anshuman asks, may I ask, what are Pisces' feelings for me? I made her cry today. Oh no, by saying I am going away forever. Will everything be all right between us? I asked for forgiveness and she forgave me. So when you say, will everything be all right between us, but if you've said you're going away forever, what would that mean? What would that look like, Anshuman? Also, who is this Pisces? Just confirm who this Pisces is to you for me. But that seems to be like a double message, as in, will everything be all right between us, but if you're going away forever? Just clarify for me. Zoya, your girlfriend. So, like I say, let me know what you mean. Kristin Conler, you are next, my love. If you are here, just be ready to post. I'm just waiting for Anshuman to clarify what we're reading on. Oh, so you were joking with her. So that seems mean, Anshuman. That's not, I don't think that's the best way to handle this kind of situation. If you're obviously making her cry through doing that, so... So I'm not sure if this is really something that Tarot can help you with here, Anshuman, with that question. You know? It's not really something for Tarot. If you want to rephrase, you know, ask something else, by all means do. But like I say, that's not really something that I would personally read Tarot about. That's just, you know, something between you and your person. So if, like I say, go ahead and post and rephrase if you want to. Kristin, if you want to go ahead and post your question. Kristin Conlar, and then we have Sarah as well after Kristin. Let me know who's here. I'll just do a list update. Maybe Kristen isn't here. Kristen Connor this is. I know there's another Kristen here too. Okay, so Anshuman asks, what are Pisces' feelings for me and her next move? The Fool, Major Arcana. So your person, Anshuman, is ready to take risks, okay? Is ready to... The Fool is all about going on new adventures, taking risks, and in many ways sort of just throwing caution to the wind and saying, do you know what? I'm going to go for this. So, you know, be mindful of this, be sensitive to this, be caring to that this person has feelings for you, you know, and to handle with care, because they're in a place and in a position where their heart is now ready. I know that maybe in the past that you've had some hot and cold messages that have come through, mixed messages, or things have gone slow. But if I remember rightly, there was something that another past relationship that they were still healing from, and that they were still getting over and moving through some issues and doing some healing. But now, just as the cards had predicted, that there has been enough time for them to be ready again to really kind of reconnect with another human being and open their heart and take some emotional risks. So there's a shift here in their energy, and that they're in a more open and good place. So this is a really positive, beautiful energy. And hopefully that, you know, if you have those feelings for her too, that you can match that. Hope that resonated. Yep, she had a breakup with her ex. So now I feel like there's been a shift in that movement, in where she's at emotionally. She's now ready to move forward. Okay, so I don't think Kristen's here, Kristen Conrad or Sarah. So B, if you're here. We have B, and then we have Kitty Cat Meow. So the list is closed now. Yeah, I'll be back live on Friday. If you have missed the reading today, do catch me on Friday. I'm aiming to go live now Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So sorry, Sonali, list is closed, but catch us on Friday. Thank you, Kitty. So Kitty asks, what's the meaning behind the reoccurring dreams I've been having this week? Or are they just fears? Let's have a look. Can you tell us more about the dreams, Kitty Cat? B, I'll read for you after Kitty, and then Sarah. So Kitty, this is for you. Please share more about your dreams if you feel comfortable to do so. The Emperor. Major Arcana. The Emperor is all about control, okay? Now, Kitty Cat says, my boyfriend cheating on me, leaves me for same girl. like I say, the Emperor, I feel this is more like, so the Emperor is about the need for control. We all have this inside of us, our kind of inner Emperor, okay? And the Emperor in there, when they are shining, when they are thriving, they are awesome at being in control and kind of managing the situation. Almost they are the boss energy of the deck, you know, of the pack. But the flip side, the shadow side to the Emperor, is that it can become overly controlling and needing to control every aspect of a certain situation. So I feel like Spirit has come through. Also, your Aries kitty. Maybe this is your default, okay, that you have, you know, like you say, you are the Emperor. So it's like you're a fantastic leader, and you are someone maybe in this relationship as well that you kind of drive it in many respects. Like you're maybe the decision maker, you're the one who makes the moves, you know, the mover and shaker of this connection. And that's kind of your role and where you feel comfortable in many respects in how you move through the space. Aries are fantastic at getting projects and ideas off the ground. So if you're first in the astrological sign, so you're the fire starter. But yes, you do need to let go of control and understand, I suppose, in relationships or in almost every aspect of our life, there's only so much that we can control. We can certainly influence a situation, and our decisions have, you know, a butterfly effect, but ultimately we can't, particularly in a love relationship, which is why love relationships are so terrifying. We can't control another person. We can't control what they feel. We can't control what they think of us, that we can't control their actions. We can just only control our side of the street, keep our side of the street clean is an expression that I like. And then whatever's going on with your person, you're going to have to surrender, and it will ultimately be better for the relationship and be better for you, because once we try to control someone, it's ultimately it does begin to erode the relationship. So try to trust in yourself as well. If you're scared that you'll miss something as well, try to build trust with yourself and your instinct that if you feel like something goes awry, that you will notice that. But this is your subconscious, sort of trying to protect you really, and but it's made you a bit over vigilant. You're welcome, Kitty. It's a constant kind of battle often in relationships, trying to manage that. I feel like it's only natural. Okay, so B, this is for you, my love. So B asks, why did I have to go through the pain in my last relationship? So I wouldn't really say why you had to go through it, but what I think maybe a better way to phrase this, if you're happy for me to do this, B, is like, what can we take from that with us to help us moving forward? Because I'm not someone who really believes that everything happens for a reason. I believe that everything happens and then we find a reason. Okay? I think everything happens for a reason can be quite toxic, and is a kind of blanket statement that doesn't really, you know, with lots of things that people have to go through in life, there is no explanation. It happens, then we find a reason. So let's see what important takeaway from this that you can take with you, B, and that will help you in the future, yeah? from this heartache, from this lesson and pain, what can be take? I'm sorry that you feel like you'll never find happiness. That's a dark place to be. I would say lean into manifestation to try to make yourself feel more in control, B. So what was it to be gained? So the Five of Swords, okay, is a painful experience, is what you went through. It's like this, maybe very harsh words were said, maybe said to you, like, you know, very hurtful actions, hurtful words that cut deep. Now, there is the power and a strength in walking away from this situation, okay? So even if they left you, if they ended it, the fact that you can begin to move on and walk away emotionally and heal from this and separate yourself from this person who wasn't good for you. B says, don't think I've ever really had an amicable split from someone. Well, I'm not sure, you know, amicals, what I would say amicable, if I can say that word, splits, are rare, B, okay? So don't see that as a bad thing or blamed on you. Like, I'm from the school of thought that, you know, if you've been in a romantic relationship, it's very rare for that not to get to separate, you know, for it to come to a bit of a messy end. I don't know how wise it is to be friends post breakup. There's generally always one person who is hoping that it will be more. You know, this is just from my personal experience. So I think they're saying, you know, the fact that you walked away and cut ties, or that this is now over, took some strength from you, and it was the right thing to do. And cutting ties, sword, okay, is like quite brutal, and cutting ties, but this can be a good thing. Sometimes it is the best thing to completely cut this person out of your life, to go no contact, for it not to be amicable, you know, for it to get real, for it to get very real. This is how it has to go sometimes. And you know, we don't always have to be loving, patient, giving to people who don't deserve that, okay? Sometimes people just need to be told, I'm done, you know? Page of Pentacles. So you have something tangible which you've taken from this, which is to be more grounded in that kind of energy, to be tougher, yeah? To be more grounded in your own energy. Page of Pentacles is about, you're still in that period, B, of where you're reassimilating and kind of assessing the right way forward. And this is about not rushing the situation. So maybe you feel like, I don't know the time frame, okay, about when this ended, but the Page of Pentacles does require patience, and it does require, you know, it may feel like things aren't moving forward in the direction that you want them to, but there is change and real movement happening here. And you're getting yourself ready and right for the next relationship, okay? Also, don't center a relationship as your form of happiness, okay? It's really not a great idea to center our happiness ever on another person and on a love relationship, okay? So try to de-center that, if that's what you, when you say, oh, I'll never find happiness, is happiness got tied into having a relationship? try to untangle that if you can. Try to work on the relationship that you have with yourself, because the more abundant and content that we are in our own skin and with our own company, the better place we are to, we're not in a state of lack when inviting a relationship in. Okay? It's only been a month. Oh, well, there you go. Give yourself some time, B. It's literally, you are still reeling from that situation. So you're not trying to rush anything. Just enjoy doing me right now, not dating or talking to anyone. So give yourself time, give yourself patience, work on rebuilding. We are still very much healing, okay? Right, moving on to Sarah. Just give me a shout that you're here, Sarah, because I know your question was posted a bit ago. I'm just trying to find it. There we go. So Sarah, just give me a shout. Sarah asked, what's coming in my connection with my current love interests? Initial CE for the rest of the year. No contact currently. Okay. You're welcome, B. I'm just waiting for Sarah to give me a shout. The chat's slightly delayed, so just bear with me. After Sarah, we have Alvin. Then we have Isha, or is it Aisha? Sarah's here. Oh my goodness. So we have the Tower card, a major arcana, Sarah, okay? Has this Tower moment happened? I feel like it has. This Tower moment, okay, is when, so maybe it's talking about this, when this connection broke down, okay, when you moved into no contact. The Tower energy is very shocking, is very sudden. And it can be something where, you know, we're moving along in life and we think everything is going okay. And then it's a very much like rug pulled from under us kind of feeling. And something breaks down. So this connection breaks down, Sarah. Now, the silver lining of the Tower card is that what it's doing is shifting out old energies that are no longer meant for us. It's a spiritual intervention. Spirit comes in, picks us up out of a situation and puts us elsewhere, back on track, back on path. But it can be completely disorientating at the time. Let me know if this feels like the relationship. There may be other things going on for you as well, like sudden changes, losses, upheavals, challenges, times that have gone on for you. May just be in general having a kind of Tower moment, because the Tower moment doesn't have to be in just one area of your life. Sometimes it can be a multitude of things that we kind of just get bam, 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 we get hit, and it's intense, yeah? So it was sudden and shocking, exactly how it happened. Okay, so that energy is still around. We're still kind of left in the dust of this situation. Now, what happens next? I'm going to pull another card. Is there a chance? Is this something that wasn't right for us and we need to leave in the past? Or is this something that we can rebuild and we start from the ground up and we, in a way, we start again? We get a second chance. So let's see what comes next. Like you say, in the remainder of this year. I didn't even see it coming. That's so hard, Sarah. It's just, yeah, the Tower moments can be really quite painful, challenging. What comes next, Spirit? So we know this Tower moment. It's blown us out the water. What comes next? So the question to ask yourself with the Seven of Wands, this is what I think, okay. Do we want to fight for this, Sarah? Is this something worth fighting for, is what I'm going to ask. Because there's a battle here. The Seven of Wands is about holding your ground and being very stubborn. So I'm wondering if this person tried to push your boundaries in some way. And I don't know if standing your ground was maybe even what triggered the end of the relationship. There's something about you having to be very stubborn and hold your ground. So if you want this, which I think you do, obviously you want to see change, positive change, and the chance of reconciliation. There's something about you needing to still hold on to, like, not to roll on your values, not to roll on your what you've said that you need, and how, you know, showing up for yourself and saying, this is what I need, this is what I want out of a relationship. Because if they won't respect that, or if they can't step up to that, then this relationship is done anyway. Okay, so we're not going to bend and fold in order to make this relationship work. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. It's like, if you want this relationship to work and you want for it to be fulfilling, then you, in many ways, are going to have to fight for yourself and stand your ground. So do you want to fight for this relationship still? Because the Seven of Wands is all about holding boundaries and defending yourself. So it wasn't about that. It was about emotions not aligning that cause no contact. Okay. One comment about that then, Spirit. Let's see how this ties together. Ace of Wands. So you will get a second chance with this, Sarah. Okay. Okay, so it was one-sided. Ace of Wands is a new opportunity. So timing could have been an issue with this. Ace of Wands is a new chance, a new opportunity. You can see how you both got wands here. Now, if someone's not feeling the same way, then obviously that's not something, you know, that's what we need to walk away from, okay? It's not worth our time. It's not worth our energy. So there's some mixed messages just coming through from you, Sarah, about obviously it was a shocking moment to go no contact, but you say that it was one-sided. So if you knew that it was one-sided, was it a shock for it to not move forward? I don't know. So I don't know the full ins and outs of this situation for you. Nonetheless, that's how you felt, that tower moment, how it left you reeling, okay? Maybe you didn't expect it to go no contact. This person will come back around, so communication will come in. The cards say that when this does happen, the Seven of Wands, you are going to have to stand your ground and say, obviously, if from a relationship, that we need to have certain needs met, okay? Maybe this person will try and push your boundaries when they come round this second time. There's just something about this card. Maybe it will make sense in the future more to you once this chance comes through. But it's about standing up for yourself and fighting for what you want and having strong boundaries in place. Maybe there's something about this energy of this person, this connection, that kind of that demands this of you. I didn't know because it felt mutual. So it sounds like that they messed with your head a bit, Sarah, to be honest. So if you didn't know and it felt mutual, then maybe that's what they... It sounds like it wasn't as straightforward as what you're saying, that it was just all one-sided. They maybe led you to believe that. They maybe did have feelings for you and that was real and you can believe that, but then they just backed off for whatever reason, 1,000,001 reasons why that can be. So there we go. He treats you well. He was sweet. So of course you would interpret that someone cared for you, okay? And suddenly he wants distance. So what I would say is that would make sense. So you were, of course, you know, it was a tower moment. If someone's being sweet, someone's treating you well, you don't expect them just to suddenly cut you off. So when this person comes back round again, okay, don't let them sweet talk you. Don't let them mess with your head. We need to protect our energy and stand strong and get clear with your boundaries and communication, okay? So I feel like they've kind of led you down the garden path and they've led you high and dry, okay? So if we're going to reconnect with them again, if you do want to revisit this, you don't have to, but if you do want to revisit this opportunity when they come back round, we're going to have our boundaries in place and be ready, okay? So I hope that resonated. So next up we have Alvin. If you are here, I'm not sure if they are. Isha, I saw you. Just post your question. Oh, these cards are boxed now. Interesting. I'm glad that makes sense. Thank you, Alvin and Isha. So I'll read Alvin first because they were next on the list, and then Aisha. So Aisha, please just rephrase your question. So I'm not sure what your question is. Please bear in mind, I don't do yes, no questions. I don't do general readings or timelines, okay? So just please bear that in mind when asking your question. So Alvin asks, where should I focus my energy when it comes to my love life? I'm in a fresh start again. Sagittarius Sun. So fresh start, do you mean a fresh relationship? As in you're in a new connection, Alvin? Or are we single and ready to mingle? Newly single. Okay. So where should I focus my energy when it comes to my love life? Okay. So Spirit, please, for Alvin, where should they be focusing their energy? Okay. Thanks, Alvin. Ooh. Nice. Major Arcana. So Alvin, I believe that there is an important new cycle that is starting out, okay? I actually believe that this is someone's energy coming through that will feel different and deeper, more meaningful, a more real connection, okay? What I would say, so in your question, where should I focus my energy when it comes to my love life, is I would say that this is preparing for this new cycle, the next cycle that's coming in, that's going to be have a lot of potential. The World card asks us, okay, so we need to close out past relationships, any energetic ties we might have, communications that still linger, any kind of messiness in the past relationship. Try to, what you should be focusing on is making a clean slate. So if that's doing cutting cord energy rituals, if that's doing meditations to hold space for this new person who is on their way to you. And it's like preparing and getting ready for this new cycle and almost being in a state of expectation. Okay, expecting this person to come through, ready for this meaningful relationship, and releasing the past, releasing past energy. So anyone who is still clinging on to you energetically, or maybe even in a practical way in the 3D, start closing that out. Okay, it all tells the universe about your commitment and readiness for this new, deeper, more meaningful relationship that I feel that you're ready for and is on its way to you. Okay, this is a shift, and this is this is an opportunity not to be missed, Alvin. Okay, so start getting ready now, and holding space is a great term to hold on to. I'm holding space for this person and for this relationship to come through, which I feel very strongly is happening for you and is on its way. So yeah, cutting cords, decluttering, exactly all of that. Practical ways of how you get ready. You know, maybe it could be like organizing your apartment so that you've got somewhere nice to invite someone back, you know, sprucing it up if you wanted to. That's just one example. Looking after our health, going to the gym, getting ready for this person so we look our best. So it can be emotional and practical, and it's like this sense of real sense, Alvin, of expectation. Feels exciting. Okay, so keep us posted. Get ready. Yes, first it was the 12th, wasn't it, that it closed? Did you set a manifestation intention? Something that you can still work on anyway. Okay, Aisha, so that's another yes/no question. Will I get success in my next exam? So, but what I will do is just check in on the energy around that. But like I say, I don't do yes/no questions. That is a yes/no question. I'm glad that makes sense, Alvin. Okay, so this is guidance for success, Aisha, is that we need to just manage our emotions around this. So the stress, the anxiety, the worry, the fear. The King of Cups, okay, is an expert of managing their feelings. So maybe this is something that's come up in the past about exams for you. Tell you what resonates with this. Sometimes, you know, that we don't. Exams for some people can be, you know, they're not really enjoyable for anyone, but for some people it can be very triggering. But the King of Cups is the epitome of someone who is able to feel the feelings. So it's not about blocking yourself and pretending that you're fine and that, so you say you're overthinking. And it's, when is this happening? So the timeline is May 2026. So it's a long build up, yeah. So we need to, if we can, I don't know how much, you know, because it's so far off, can we park it as much as we can? The King of Cups, like I say, is a master of feeling the feelings. So it's not about suppressing our feelings, but it's instead finding ways to cope. Meditation, visualization, grounding exercises, going for walks in nature, trying to really also train our brains, okay, brain training ourselves to say that we can handle this situation. We can, again, that message that came up earlier, in this session about we can only control the controllables, okay? We can only do so much, and then the rest is up to, you know, destiny, fate, the universe, whatever you want to say. We can only control so much. So try to work on managing your emotions, and this is the best way to prepare yourself for success. And try not to be taken over or taken under by the feelings, okay? So take a leaf out of this King of Cups book. So that's a separate question. I should just do one question each. Rena, my love, are you still here? So we have Rena, Samreen, Kristen and Machi. The final list, if you want to go ahead and just post your questions and I will read for whoever posts first at this point, because some people tend to drift out of the chat. So I'm not sure who's here still. But the last 4 people we have on the list, so we have Rena, we have Samreen, we have Kristen, and we have Machi. For anyone who is watching and maybe missed a spot, or for anyone who enjoys today's session, I'll be live again on Friday, so please join us again then. Thank you, Samreen. So I'll read for Samreen, and then I'll read for Rena. So Samreen asks, Mercury retrograde has ended. Yes, woohoo! I want to know about my ex energy towards me, our connection and its future. Is he missing me? An invitation, an opportunity, Samreen. So Ace of Pentacles, new beginnings and the potential of that. So I feel like this is positive, yeah? Like you say, that Mercury retrograde has ended, which opens the door for movement to be able to start happening again, for things to become easier. And the Ace of Pentacles, you know, is an opportunity that presents itself, Samreen. And Pentacles is earth energy. So it's very real, yeah? It's very grounded in reality. It's a tangible, real thing. So it's not fantasy, it's not illusion. It's in the here and now, and it's real. And it has the potential. So I feel this strongly in Samreen, because I know that we look at this a lot. And I feel like what you need to do is maybe try to get back on your thoughts. So I hope so it does, because I'm hoping it celebrate your birthday with him. I feel like this is, there's too much ruminating on this connection, okay? So I felt like that you were in a positive place when you were trusting the process more and you were really strong in your manifestation. And I feel like anxieties, worries, fears have creeped back in, and there's some overthinking and there's some over fixating on this connection, okay? We need to get back into a state of trust, Samreen, and we need to create some distance. So again, that kind of brain training thing of try to catch your thoughts and try to have what we call like a good mental diet when it comes to our manifestation. So when you catch yourself doubting, I feel like there's a lot of self-doubt and there's a lot of anxiety and there's a lot of fear around this, that you don't believe that it's going to happen anymore. So let me know if that resonates, but this is keeping you up at night maybe. This is like you are very distracted, your thoughts are with him. Is this going to work? Ruminating on it. and it's not coming from a grounded place. So that's what you need to do whilst we're waiting for this Ace of Pentacles to come through. Start putting some practices in place, daily practices in place. To manage your anxiety. So whenever you manifest, you overthink, yeah? So try to focus on the letting go part of the manifestation, Samreen, because if we are too intense about it and almost care too much, we actually push it away. We block the flow. So I hope that resonated, Samreen. So Rena, this is for you, my love. So Rena asks, I am here after leaving a toxic ex with my son, and due to his actions at my job, I lost my job, how awful, and home at a resort I was at for 7 years, how awful. We remain positive and strong. Worry about our future. So what is the question, Rena? What would you like me to look at? Just clarify your question. You worry about the future. Just want to clarify your question. You're welcome, Samreen. DE, hi. I hope you're well. The list is closed for now. I'll be live again on Friday if you want to join us then. So I'm just waiting for Rena to clarify. And then we've got Kristen and Machi, but I'm not sure if you're here still. But please do go ahead and post if you are here, Kristen and Machi. Thanks, DE. Okay. Rena, are you still here? Don't think Christy and Machi are here. So Rena, if you're still here, please let us know. Maybe not. Okay, so I think that's everyone then. I don't know where Rena's gone. She seems to maybe have left the chat. So I'm going to end the live here. Please do, like I say, I'll be live again on Friday. Please do join us then if you'd like a reading for anyone who missed today's. Wishing you all, thanking you all for being here, for bringing your questions, for bringing your energy, and wishing you all a good rest of the day, rest of the evening, wherever you are. Love and light, guys. Love and light.